Hey, I'm John Siskovich, and I cut up a black walnut tree using an excavator and a chainsaw and a little bit of manpower. Alright, so this video, there's a little bit of a helpful hint here, but it's more of an explanation of like how I balance life, how I balance things on farm. We have a brewery right behind me. Actually, I could turn the camera right now. Brewery. And in front of the brewery, there was a black walnut tree, which is actually sitting behind me. We got a grant for solar panels installed on the roof. And as part of that solar grant, we put on the solar panels, and it was really inefficient having a tree next to it because the tree shaded the solar panels. But also being a black walnut tree, it dropped walnuts onto the panels, and that's all a bad thing. Here, let me adjust the camera as I'm talking about it. So we had the tree cut down by a bunch of professionals who had better insurance than we do, so that if they dropped it on something, it was their concern and not our concern. Our concern in the short term, but their concern financially. Had the tree cut down, and they put the long parts, the limbs, next to the driveway, and then I cut them up for firewood. There were not a lot of straight parts. I know there's some people going, black walnut, why didn't you save it for wood? I saved some pieces for wood, which I'm going to turn into something in the future. Right now I'm going to let them cure in the back of the farm. But as you can see through the time lapse that is now playing, I used my excavator. I picked up the limbs and then bucked them up while having that excavator hold them in the air. That worked out really, really well. I had other videos planned for release for this time period, but life throws you a curveball. I didn't know, I had planned these Arbor Services people to come, but I didn't know they were going to show up that day. They showed up. I needed the parking. They put it right in the parking lot, which is where I directed them to. So I needed to clean up the wood. And, I'm just a dude trying to make not only my farm work, but kind of my homestead work as well. I live here on farm. My wife and I run the farm, and we heat our home with wood. We source a lot of our food from the farm, whether it's chicken or vegetables or wild forage stuff, and we're balancing our family life, our work life, our homesteading life, and then all the friends and family that kind of surround us on the periphery. We're very lucky with the people that we're surrounded by. Part of that is the fact that I have a log splitter and a tree, and I'm able to use all the things, and I can have people over, and this winter I can say, hey, I cut up these logs, and we put them in the wood stove, and people really appreciate that. We are kind of a farm fantasy camp for a lot of people who have lost touch with that pastoral, rural life. We're very accessible. We bring a lot of people in with the brewery and offer people kind of a taste of agriculture. That's part of the reason why I do these YouTube videos. That's why I live the life I live. It's just like I wake up in the morning and I go, what would be cool? And then I do that. And then I find a way, whether it's through YouTube, whether I host a farm tour every single Saturday at 2 p.m. We're hosting events on farm. I want to get as many people as involved in this as I can, because this is great. You can do this. It's profitable. You can sustain a family while you're doing it. It's really fascinating, all of the different natural systems that happen here on a farm, any farm, but my farm in particular, because that's the one I'm most familiar with. And it's really, really good. And at the end of the day, I get to see my wife and my daughter. I eat 3 meals a day with them. I work hand in hand with my wife, and we're never at each other's throats. We work really well together, and I'm fortunate. So a little tip from today, you can use an excavator to hold a log in the air and cut it up. But really the takeaway is that, you can plan and have all these things that you want to come out. The next video that come out is probably going to be a farm tour. But yeah, sometimes life throws you a curveball. You get the work done, you prepare for winter, and have a good time, and then end the day with a beer and hanging out with your family. Hope you have an awesome day. I hope whatever you're doing goes great. And until next time, I will see you out in the field.